Greetings, everyone. This is RKrivo with the chart drill down for Wednesday, April 19th, 2017. Now, my overall objective in each of these chart drill down videos is to show you how I go about identifying the strongest trending pairs. Those would be the ones that are most likely, though not guaranteed, to turn into winning trades. And if you have any questions about any of the indicators I use on my charts or why the charts are set up the way they are, please check out a video, YouTube video on this channel dated May 11th, 2015. It's entitled Chart Tutorial. That'll give you an explanation of that. If you still have any questions about that particular subject or anything covered in this video, please feel free to email me at RKrivoFX@gmail.com. Now, remember, these charting drill downs are for instructional purposes. They're designed to show you how I identify higher probability trading pairs. And any of the setups that I show you by no means guarantee that those particular trade setups are going to turn into a winning trade. Remember, trading is all about probabilities, identifying a trading edge, something we can exploit, something to provide us with a higher probability trading opportunity. And the more of those we identify, the greater the likelihood that we may be profitable at the end of a week, a month, a quarter, or a year. So with that, let's quickly go over the disclaimers. Not going to spend a lot of time here, but just trading foreign exchange involves significant levels of risk, might not be suitable for all of you. We should only be trading with risk capital. Do not trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. High degree of leverage in trading, and especially in currency trading, and it can work against you as well as for you. And the content provided herein is for informational, educational purposes only, no specific trading recommendations. Okay, now let's take a look at the charts. As some of you know, I use a strong weak currency analysis to point me in the direction of the pairs that are in the stronger trends. And should you want to know more about that, feel free to email me at RKrivoFX@gmail.com and just put strong weak analysis in the subject line. Now, the most recent strong weak analysis that I did, which was only about 15 or 20 minutes ago, it showed that the pound was the strongest currency and the Aussie dollar was the weakest. So that's my first stop as I drill down the charts. That's why the pound Aussie is in front of you right now with the charts. So with that information, let's take a look and see what's going on with the pound Aussie here. Now, the way my charts are set up, I've got a weekly, I've got a daily, I've got a 4-hour and a 1-hour, multiple time frame analysis. And what I'm looking at first, I always go to the longest term chart, which for me is the weekly. And that's got the biggest overview that I can see, so I can get the most in-depth look of how this pair has been moving over an extended period of time. Let's expand that chart a bit. And what I can see here is a couple things hit my eye. One, this pair has been going down ever since, let's see, it made a high back here on August 22nd, 2015. So you can see a lot of data in these particular charts. And price has been moving down. We've got some pullbacks here and there, some significant. But right now, the pair has continued to take out that lower Donchian channel and move to the downside. And now it's starting to move up. And for the first time in quite some time, it's poised to take out that upper channel. It hasn't yet, but it's pretty darn close, closer than it's been since 2015. So we're looking at the pair moving to the upside, potentially taking out the upper channel. What I'm also seeing is on slow stochastics, which I set to 15, 5, and 5, there's significant angle and separation between the two lines here. We have the slow stochastics and the fast stochastics line. There's significant angle and separation, and the separation and the angle is increasing. So that shows that potentially there's more momentum remaining to the upside, indicating that this pair on the weekly chart will likely follow through to the upside. When that's going to happen, how far it's going to go, we don't know at this point. So my weekly chart is giving me a buy signal because we're closing in on that upper channel. Not official yet, but it's there. And we can see what happened here. This is on the daily chart. Yesterday, I mean, there was a significant bump. News came out I believe it was Theresa May mentioned some information about Brexit, and that caused this pop right here. And a pop indeed it was. It was about a 500 pip pop over the course of the day. And as you can see on this particular day right here, this is currently today, this is the 19th, and it's still moving to the upside. Not as dramatically, certainly, but buyers are still stepping in and pushing it higher. We can see slow stochastics again has been above the 80 line, has curled below it, and is now potentially poised to curl over. The fast line is poised to curl over the slow line and go above 80 again, indicating bullish momentum. And what we can see also, this is a 200 period SMA, simple moving average, that we have here. And for the first time again in quite a while, this pair has now broken above on the daily chart, the 200 period moving average, which indicates bullish momentum again is favored. We knew that by using the Donchian channels, where it made a low right here and then took out the upper Donchian channel, touched the low, kept pushing down, pushing down, pushing down, then came back up and took out the upper Donchian channel. This is the point at which on the daily chart, if you're trading off the daily charts, that you could have entered the trade at that point using Donchian channel strategy. Had that been a move for you, something you would have done, at this point we'd be up about 700 pips in the trade at that point. Keep in mind, this is a daily chart, so we're dealing with a little longer term time frames than some of you might be used to. Now, with this big move to the upside, which we can see reflected as we would expect in all the charts, I'm not looking to get into this pair again right now, simply because I would be waiting on the 1 hour chart, for example, for price action to retreat to the lower Donchian channel line. And then once it tags that lower Donchian channel line, I can either get in aggressively as it starts to pull up from that. My preferred way of entering, though, is after it comes down, touches the lower Donchian channel line. Keep in mind, this lower Donchian channel line is going to be moving higher as the pair, if the pair continues to move higher. My preferred entry would be price touches the lower Donchian channel, comes back up and tags the upper Donchian channel line again, and that's where the entry would be. Because the ideal situation is like we see right here on the 1 hour. Touches the lower several times down here, makes a low, and then, excuse me, had to get a drink of water there. So it's going to be a certain period of time before this pair pulls back enough for me and the Donchian channel strategy for me to consider re-entering this trade if I'm not in it already. A trade that I am in, which is going to be showing some similar price action in this one, is the pound New Zealand dollar, which is right here. It's going to show a similar movement, price action movement. Here we can see that price action already on the weekly chart took out the upper Donchian channel. This has been a little more aggressive move here. And again, price action has moved up on the daily. But for an entry situation, I would be waiting again for price action to retrace and then come back and take out that upper channel. So with the pound being strong, let's take a look at another pound-related pair here. Hang on 1 second and we'll bring up another one. And let's look at the pound Canadian and see what that's up to. Okay, again, we see a similar type of situation. It's taken out the upper channel on the weekly chart after it took out the lower channel down here. So we're in an open buy situation, if you will. On the weekly chart, we're in an open buy. On the weekly, we're in an open buy. On the 4 hour, we're in an open buy on the 1 hour. So for the time being, for me anyway, as far as considering a re-entry, adding to a position, I'm in a wait and see mode at this point, because price could, let me enlarge that one. Price could, this is the 1 hour chart, price could kind of dilly-dally around in this area for a while, and then it could retrace. It could, slow stochastics indicates there's a potential for it to push higher, but at some point, these aggressive moves have got to retrace a bit. And I'd rather wait and re-enter after the retracement than enter now and then suffer through a 100, 200 pip retracement in that situation. Now, I've been getting a lot of questions from people on the yen pairs because the yen crosses have been dropping quite a bit lately. The yen was quite strong for a long period of time. It's still the second strongest currency of the 8 that we monitor. Let's take a look at a couple of the yen pairs and see what's going on there. Let's look at the dollar yen. Okay, so here I always check the weekly chart out first. And what I'm seeing is here it took out the upper channel and then it started to change direction. This is the weekly again. So for several weeks, it made a high here, and that was December of last year. And then it has continued to make lower highs and lower lows, took out the lower Donchian channel, and closed below the 200 period moving average on the weekly chart. We also see slow stochastics is open to the downside, indicating that there's more potential for bearish movement here. So I would be looking, I'm on an open sell situation on the weekly chart, and again, open sell on the daily, 4 hour, and I like what I'm seeing on the 1 hour. Whether or not it'll pan out or not, I don't know, but what I'm seeing here is price action again, upper channel, took out the lower, that's where you were entered on the 1 hour chart. And this could be, I don't know if it is or not, but it could have put in a double top right here, touching the upper Donchian channel, and then coming back up, testing that upper Donchian channel level again, which is a price level about 109.22, and then heading for the downside again. This most current 1 hour candle is bullish, it's moving up, but the overall trend on the 1 hour and on all the other charts is to the downside. Open angle and separation to the downside here on the 1 hour. So if I were to trade this pair right now, what I'd be looking at is I'd be setting a price alarm right around 108.13. That's that lower Donchian channel. This is a more aggressive entry right up here at 108.31. I prefer to wait for 108.13. I'll set a price alarm there and then come back and check and see what's going on when that price alarm comes off. If the dollar is weak across the board, and if the yen is strong across the board, then I've got a better opportunity to believe that this pair is going to continue to the downside. One other thing, is I got a little windy here and we're starting to run out of time a little bit. One other thing I want to show you though is with the bearish momentum that's in place in this particular trade, how much farther does it have room to run on this particular weekly chart of the dollar yen? And what I see here is price action right now is at that point. Now, if we go down to a low that it was at before, where it kind of turned around, that's 550 pips, room to run. If we go down here to where it put in a low before on the weekly, it's 846 pips. Now, keep in mind, just because it's got that amount of room to run doesn't mean it's going to go that far. It doesn't even mean if you enter right now in the trade that you're going to get that many pips out of it. But there is that potential for it to drop, and that's all we're looking for, potential, higher probabilities. And this is a probability on a trade, a bearish trade, to have that amount, a significant amount of room to run, potentially. So again, on this one, if you're interested in tracking the way I would do something, I'd set a price alarm around 108.13 and then come and check out what's going on when that price alarm goes off. A lot of the other yen pairs are in downtrends too, although they will have gone through some retracements. Okay, thanks for being here. Feel free to email me any questions that you might have on this. Look forward to seeing you next time around. Thanks.